I'm ready
So,
for my heart to break again.
I know,
It's fine.
I know. So we have, okay, for those who are new, this is a podcast where Zen and I we pick a killer each week, and then we talk about how the survivors would fare against that killer in a horror movie setting.
Yes.
Due to the tragedy of Wraith, which we will discuss, we're going to try to make this comedy horror um and along the lines of Tucker and Dale versus Evil, if that makes
Yes.
sense. Which could be absolutely terrible of a decision, but we will
And if
acknowledge that error.
if anybody has any kind of aversion to war stories or atrocities committed towards war, or you just don't want to hear a sad
Let's not
story,
sugarcoat it. It was legitimate genocide.
yeah.
Um
So if you do not want to hear that, you might want to mute us for a little bit until we bring up the paper saying where everybody is our list of how people are dying.
yes.
So just a heads up if you want to skip that part because this is a really heart-wrenching
It is
story.
based off of real world events, which I think
Yeah.
makes it uh a lot heavier than some of the other stories.
Yeah. So listen to that part at your own risk. Once you see us pulling up the little doc with how everybody is going to die, that's when we've kind of passed that point.
So
So,
that's your content warning of,
yes.
yeah, war, genocide. That's the big one, is the genocide.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Whose turn is it?
I think it's your turn.
Is it my turn?
I think so, because I started Huntress, and then you started Oni, and then I started Trapper.
Okay. That makes sense. Let me hold on, let me just pull up his page real quick to make sure I reference everything correctly. Um on a funnier note, his game aliases, one of them's Bob. I don't I don't
I
know
haven't
why.
heard Bob.
I never got the reference. It's in the wiki. It just says game aliases, Banshee, which makes sense, and Bob.
Okay. I found out that his name was Philip, and that people are like, "Damn it, Philip!"
Yeah, Filippo
Like, what?
Jomo. So so Philip grew up in Nigeria, and the lore that we have from his younger years take place during the Nigerian Civil War, which is after the decolonization of Nigeria from Britain. There was a small section of Nigeria that said that wanted to secede from the Nigerian government, create their own republic. And one of the things that they did in those actions was they were a nationalist group, no surprise, and they decided that they were going to uh, genocide a specific ethno group in Nigeria. And from the lore that we gathered, Philip is apparently part of that group. Um, Growing up, his father actually gave him his bell and told him to ring it if there was ever any danger. And when he was younger, his parents left with a bunch of other people. I'm assuming they went to go and help somebody else or some like other villages or something, and left him in the care of his grandmother. And uh, he was waiting for them to come back. They never did. We can assume that they died at the hands of this militia who was committing the genocide. Um, and yeah, they never came back. So he's living with his grandmother. And at one point when he was younger, um, that group invaded his village and they all went into hiding. Um, the like all the children and the women and everybody tried to hide from it. And again, a lot of people just got completely slaughtered. This is so terrible.
Yeah.
Um, his grandmother dies in this scenario, or in this wave. Um, and Philip ends up an orphan and traveling to different villages. He ends up, I forget her name. Oh gosh, it started with an F. Uh, this woman who had apparently been taking in, I don't know if they were actually, she had two children. From the way the lore worded it, I don't think that they were like biologically her children. I feel like
Yeah,
she adopted them from,
it gave me the idea that she was rescuing.
yeah. Um, because she took Philip in as a child, and she was like a mother figure for him, and it seemed like she had taken in some of the other children, and she kind of offered basically like a safe place for him and made him feel very secure where he was amidst a legitimate war. And again, tragic. Actually, okay, so something that did stick out that I want to mention before, his grandmother, something she used to say was, um, the something about the devil pays for men to do his bidding,
Mhm.
or like men who kill for money or whatever, they're doing the devil's work.
Yeah.
So I just want to call that out for later on. But he's living with this woman who essentially just becomes the mother figure for him, adopts him, um, unofficially, but she's taking care of him. And there just happens to be one night where he goes to sleep, and when he wakes up, he smells just burning flesh, which is something that this militia group that was doing all the genocide at the time would do. Was they would slaughter and mutilate people and then burn down the villages to get rid of everything. Um, so he wakes up, he smells the burning flesh. He goes to try to find the other two kids that were living with them. He finds them dismembered. And then he finds the woman who had been caring for him. And she is, I'll just say, unfortunately, still alive because she has been completely mutilated. They put honey on her and let flies eat away at her wounds. And he feels really bad that he wasn't awake to help her, or help any of them at all. She writes into the dirt with her finger, like, I forgive you, or something like that, to hopefully make him feel better. And he uh, puts her out of her misery and suffocates her so she dies and doesn't have to suffer being eaten alive by ants and flies. Um, and then at this point, he just is justifiably just enraged.
Yeah.
Both of his parents have died to this nationalist terrorist group. His grandmother, and now the woman who had essentially just taken the mother role for him. He finds one of their little camps that they have set up nearby, and while they are asleep, he goes and pours kerosene all over them and sets them on fire the way they had always burned down the villages that he had visited or lived in. Um, he apparently accidentally got some of the kerosene on himself, which caused him to get burnt, which, when you're looking at, I have a picture of Wraith up on my side. I don't know if you do, Zen, but
Yeah.
when you look at him, you can tell now looking at him, like, ah, yes, that is clearly burn scars. So that's where that came from. And that, I believe, is the last of his childhood lore. And then we move to, he's living in Virginia working at Auto Haven Wreckers. Um, doesn't pay well, but it's a job. He just crushes cars, and at least he died with a good hairdo. Thanks, Cammy. Um, uh, work in the crusher, just crushing cars or whatever. It's mindless work essentially, but and it's work. He's no longer in Nigeria around all the death and everything, so he thinks, because his boss is pretty sketchy and like not a good guy. He's picked that up, but he hasn't asked too many questions. He's just there to do his job. One day when he's crushing a car, he sees the liquid start to come out and he thinks, is that gasoline? Like, what is that? And when he goes to check it out, it's blood. And so when he opens the trunk of the car, he finds a body that has been crushed. When he confronts his does he confront his boss? I forget if he confronts his boss or if his boss just like cinematically shows up.
He does. The guy isn't actually dead. He lets him go. Like he opens the trunk and finds
Oh, I
that
thought
he's
he was
alive,
dead.
unties him, and lets him go, and then his boss just fucking kills him in front of him.
Yeah. And then his boss also slits his throat, tries to kill Philip. Because that's why he makes the breathing sound. Um at that point his boss is telling him like every single car you have ever crushed has had a body inside of it. Which just destroys him because, like I wanted to point out with his grandmother, uh, he's essentially been doing the devil's work. Uh, and that is just so terrible to him. He gets very angry again, justifiably, and rips his boss's head off, takes the spine with it, and that's the little clapper that he uses for the
Yeah.
bell. And I think he only killed his boss, and I feel like there's reference to him killing a couple other employees, but there were some who were left alive, so I don't know the decisioning there. But he vanishes. The cops show up on the scene to investigate. They find the headless boss inside a car, like by the crusher or something. No sign of Philip. He's just completely gone off of the scene. And as we know, he's been consumed by the fog through the entity and is now killing people in Dead by Daylight's universe. So,
Yeah.
which I don't understand why he's still killing people, because why would he
I
want
have
to?
I have a theory.
Okay.
Okay, so let me go through the notes that I had in here that you might not have gotten. Um, so uh when his parents uh well, first of all, the he went into hiding with his grandma in a bunker. And the reason why
Yes.
his grandma died was she heard a kid screaming outside and she went out to try and save him. And
Oh,
she never came back. Which resulted in the fact that like Philip wanted to die, and he developed a hatred for silence because when he was in the bunker, all the screaming finally stopped and he was just in there in silence alone. Um
we're just wrapping
he
up
also
the
specifically
lore.
never says kill. I don't know why. He always said that the bad people are making people disappear. It is very specific in his lore that he never says that his family was killed. It's that they made them disappear.
That's true.
Um so yeah, the when they're in the bunker and like all the screaming was going on, his grandma sat and did math problems with him to
Mm-hmm.
try and keep his mind off of it. And so that's one of the things he kind of does a little bit is he does math problems in his head to try and stay calm. Um but then that one woman takes care of him and ends up adopting him. But he hasn't been able to sleep at night because of, all of the shit that's going on. And when it's time for his watch, he fell asleep, and that's when the lady and the kids die because he fell asleep during his watch, so he didn't warn them that danger was coming. That's why when he finds her and she's dying, her tongue is completely cut out and her tendons are all, just She can't move. She's cut up. She's covered in honey so that the ants are eating her alive. And he is absolutely beside himself. And he just keeps saying, I'm sorry, over and over and over again. And that's when she writes, I forgive in the dirt to try and give him peace.
Mm-hmm.
And she had been trying, like, he had been absolutely just full of hatred of these people that had taken his family from him. And both his grandma and this lady have been trying to like teach him to forgive and kind of let things go. Um, and he had always struggled with that. So her writing I forgive in the dirt was kind of like a reinforcement. Like she's been trying to get him to let things go and be able to like live on and be a witness to what happened without becoming what they are.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of a culmination of it, that he fell asleep and it was he acts like his not watching
Hi, Gaspro.
didn't warn the people that he was with that he cared about, and she forgave him for falling asleep, and they died. Um so yeah, he does kill her out of mercy. Um he did find the people that killed his family and lit up kerosene, which burned his arm and his face. Moved to the new country, crushed cars. He really just wanted to be left alone. Like that was his big thing, is he's out of there. He just wants to do his job and that's it. Like just leave him alone.
I'm doing great. I hope you're
Um
doing well too, Caspro.
so when the whole thing happened with his boss and the fact that his boss has been killing people by putting bodies in the car the whole time and making people disappear, that's what made him snap. And he put the guy in the car crusher, but had his head sticking out of the car crusher. So it pretty much like pinned him down into it. And then he grabbed his skull and ripped out the spine and the head with it. And then was just gone. Now, my theory with Wraith is that, like, there's no rhyme or reason to most of the survivors that get pulled into the
Mm-hmm.
fog. Like, I haven't seen like they went in because of this. It's just that like they were walking and they just got pulled right in.
Right.
And if you think about it, having to survive and live with that fear and then, constantly being hunted and hooked and sacrificed over and over and over again, because it's not like it's specifically in the lore that like just the one game is not all that there is. It's literally happening over and over and
Right.
over and over and over again, no escape, which kind of feels like their own personal hell.
Right.
So what would be the most personal hell that Wraith would be going through? And that would be having to kill people, which I think is why he has the bell, because he rings it when there's danger. So he's stuck in his hell, but he's still ringing the bell when he's appearing to warn them of danger. Like, is a little bit of like a rebellion against the entity that has him trapped there and forcing him to kill people.
I like that
So when
theory.
he's so when he's ringing his bell, when he goes in and out of invisibility, it's a warning. It's not a threat, it's a warning to give people time to get away from him.
And then the devs buffed his post bell speed.
Yes.
How dare they do that to
The
him?
the entity is pissed because Wraith had been doing too good at not killing people. The entity can't be having that shit. Yeah,
How
that's my theory, is that he is not there of his own free will. He's not killing them of his own free will, and that ringing the bell is his way of rebelling against the entity because he doesn't want to make people disappear. He is the only one that will disappear. I know, Lukey. I'm just sitting here. Yeah, it ripped my little heart out. So yeah, that's
yeah.
my theory, is that he's not there because he wants to. He doesn't want to kill people, and it's his own little act of rebellion is to warn them that he's coming with his bell.
This is so sad.
Yeah.
I'm glad you enjoy the
Which
talks, Caspro.
which also kind of makes it seem like when you're playing as killer, you might actually be the entity. Because would Wraith really put an add-on that makes his bell silent? So,
Good
thoughts there.
good question.
You could, if you're playing killer, you might actually be the entity because you're forcing Wraith to go kill people.
But how do you
And
explain the other killers who like likely enjoy killing people?
some of them actually went of their own free will.
Oh yeah, that's
Uh, Sh
right.
Charlotte went of her own free will. I think Freddy went of his own free
I was
will.
gonna say Freddy and Leatherface, I think, are like they love being there.
Yeah.
Just free slaughter all the time, you know?
And I think most of the Legion went there of their own free will. Like they
Yeah.
went to go with their friend and be with him. And I get the feeling like they're just having a fucking party at this point. But yeah, I think that there are killers that are not there because they want to be there. Like they're probably like some, the neutral ground, like some that are are okay being there
Mm-hmm.
theoretically. And then some that are like, I want to be here, and then there are some that don't want to. And I think Wraith is one of the killers that does not want to be there. This is being the killer is Wraith's personal hell.
Yeah.
And since he's like literally in his lore, he said that like being around all the death made him want to die, but he never says that somebody is killed. He says that they disappear. So by disappearing when he's in a match, that's like a symbol of he doesn't want to be here. He would rather be dead. He would rather be the one that disappears. So that's my interpretation of Wraith as far as lore goes, that he doesn't want to be there. And everything that he's doing in there is showing that he doesn't want to be there and he's providing some sort of warning.
So
And
my
yeah.
only critique on the disappear thing
Yeah.
is that's how his grandmother explained it to him when he was a child.
Mhm.
I think he understands killed as an adult.
I think he does too. But I'm just saying that every time he says that somebody, like, he says kill, he says that they make him disappear. So he does make the connection between, death and disappearing, but it's like his own way of showing that he doesn't want to be alive. He doesn't want to be doing that because he himself disappears,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense.
It does. Titan, I'm sorry that you just played Wraith and now you have to come listen to this. It's literally the saddest backstory.
It absolutely is. Like my heart broke the entire time. Like I was almost crying reading that because I had read like the regular part of the lore where he worked in the Auto Haven, but I hadn't read the first part, and it just tore me to pieces
Yeah.
reading that. So
Cammy, not gonna lie, anything related to Harry Potter makes me feel icky anymore. Like 5 years ago, that would have been a really cool idea to have Voldemort and Harry Potter as killer and survivor, but now I'm like, ugh.
the lore doesn't give any indication of a learning difficulty, does it? Maybe that could explain it. I don't know. I mean, I know like
Wait, what?
the he was Lukey was asking if there was any indication of a learning difficulty.
No.
Um I mean, he was learning math. He was doing fine there. Like he was learning very well because he was trying to like be able to live a better life than his dad. That's why they're all teaching him math. So he didn't
Yeah.
seem to have any issues with learning. I think it was just that's just how he said things, like either as a coping mechanism or because that's just how his grandma always said it. But that's I just think that there is a connection between the fact that he says that he never says kill, he always says disappeared, and the fact that he himself disappears in matches.
I like it.
But
So who's gonna be the
that's
first?
just a theory,
Who's gonna be
a
the
game
first to
theory.
disappear?
So,
So who's first to disappear?
Bill.
Hey,
Also, can you send me your Google Doc so I can
I did
signal that I
already.
shit?
I did before this
uh
started.
hold on, kids. I'm sure I'm gonna have to fix my camera now because I had to shift out of there. Okay, let's
How
see.
dare.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, our cameras just went poof.
All the survivors are at Auto Haven because they were on a HSU that broke down. What's an HSU?
I don't know what an HSU is.
Do I need to Google? Humboldt State University? A bus. That makes sense. Henderson State University. Okay.
Let's bring Wraith over. There we go. Okay. So,
I like that, Titan. I think that's a good setting to get them. I was imagining that they were all at the gas station getting getting those, what is it called? The on the sign. There's like some sandwich offer for like $4 at Gas
God.
Haven. Hold on, let's see if I can find it. Gas Heaven sign.
By the way, I think that Bill is the only survivor that Wraith will actually make disappear.
Literally, I looked through the whole list and I was like, Bill's the only one. And that's why I was like, I
What
have a hard time with
what is your reasoning for Bill?
because he's an actual soldier. He's killed people and
I
that's
specifically
it.
looked at him because the war that he was involved in was Vietnam.
That's true. That was its own.
That in itself was so yeah, that's why I was like, he's gonna out of all the survivors, that's Bill's the only one that I can think of that has received money for killing people.
Mm-hmm. The more
Just
survival
from
ruffians, the more survival ruffians start a fire and Wraith is triggered. Huh.
so yeah, I think Bill's the only one that
So,
Wraith's gonna kill.
so we don't even have to literally no arguments about.
Yeah, that this is a first. We just agreed like Bill's gone.
Yeah. Uh, I was put method because Wraith wanted to.
Beku. Because Wraith wanted to.
Eerie, thank you for
Gotta
the
give we have to give him some kind of happiness, you know?
lip.
Let him kill Bill.
So, okay, so the rest of this is along the lines of Tucker and Dale versus Evil. Just
Yes.
everybody, which I think arguably. So if we want to go with the setting of a bus broke down and so they're stuck at this gas heaven
Hmm.
gas station, which I have been in that scenario before. Um, if we go that route and they're all just chilling on the bus waiting for a mechanic or whatever to take care of it, um, I'd like to assume Bill was like the bus driver and
Yeah.
they all watch him get murdered. And at
Like
that point, everybody's just like, oh shit, it's a murder. And then it ensues the everyone dying on accident of their own accord.
or like he goes in and he's just sitting there like tapping the bell and Wraith shows up and sees him wearing like his nom stuff and the door shuts. He just like decapitates Bill and puts his head on the shelf. So somebody like goes in like, hey, I gotta go take a shit, and just walks inside and's like, oh fuck. Yeah.
Uh,
Something like that.
Essentially, Bill gets murdered, and they think the rest of them are all in danger.
Yes, but they really are not in danger.
Because Wraith would never if he didn't have to.
Yes.
He goes after Nia because she stole Moses' multicolored dream coat. Hold on. Joseph, you mean? From the musical?
So
Um,
I think that the next person that would go would be like which survivors give off like the creepiest, possibly actually a threat to other people vibe.
oh, Ace.
Because I could see him like trying to ring the bell like, guys, this guy is real fucking creepy, and then them freaking out, and then that whole group just biting the bullet.
Ace has the creepiest vibes of all characters. There's just something
Okay.
about Ace that says if you saw him in a bar, do not accept a drink from him.
Fair enough. So, who would be sharing a seat with Ace?
Ash. Literally none of the girls would want to sit next to Ace or Ash. Well, maybe Ash. There's somebody who's into Ash. Anyway.
Well, hey, Lord Sylvie, I feel like Ash would be hitting on people, which might also
Yeah.
get the bell to ring. I mean, depending on how Wraith feels about that, ding ding ding, your virginity's in danger. Ding ding ding.
um but they have to die on accident.
They do.
So how?
Huh. Well, I feel like they might have to get off the bus, possibly. Because I'm trying to think of, like, I'm trying to remember how the bus windows go. Like, if somebody could die by bus window, but those
Somebody
are,
could
like,
get
drop down.
well, so bus windows drop down and an emergency exit ones swing out.
Ah. I want to kill somebody with a bus window. I just want to throw that out there.
Okay, let's kill somebody with a bus window. You could literally fall out of the bus window.
Die.
I don't know how you die. What if
Mhm.
somebody is hanging out of the bus window? Because I've done this before. I have choked myself on a bus window before. Not
Hey,
gonna
some personal experience.
let's not worry about too much of the story there. It is possible for you to stick your head out of a emergency exit window that is swung up and for it to come back down on the back of your head. And it's difficult to get out of that situation. And so what if someone's head just got like we can exaggerate this for the movie, right? Somebody's head just gets fucking popped off.
So, follow-up question. Dino, who do you most relate to as a survivor?
Who do I most relate to? Literally none of them. I don't know.
There's gotta be someone that sings the song of your people that you just like you feel a deep connection of window-based danger.
Let's go with Kate. It's two
Just
two
just
country
puts her head
girls.
out the window like, "Hey y'all, is everything okay?" And Wraith is like, "Fuck, that's dangerous." Pops her head clean off.
Oh god. Window decapitation. All right.
If that
Maybe a
doesn't get everybody off the bus, I don't know what will.
someone from Malpractice. There is a doctor in the game, Cammy.
Okay.
Bus is damaged and survivors have to leave because the bus is gonna explode. Ding ding ding, your virginity is in
Oh.
danger. That's all I'm gonna think about whenever I play Wraith now. Whenever you see a Steve and Nancy in the same match, just always follow them.
Ding dong, your virginity's in danger. Ding dong.
Okay, okay.
Birth control kids. Ding dong.
So Bill the bus driver goes into the gas station, gets his head ripped off. Uh we got a lot of head
Where
we got a lot of head in this one because
hey.
everyone else I guess is probably like getting off of the bus because they're like, ugh, it's hot out or something. I just want to stretch my legs, whatever. Kate goes to stick her head out the window to talk to somebody, and then just the window just goes right back down on her. And
just to get maximum a bus use. How do you feel about Ash trying to fix the bus? Like, there's gotta be one of those people on the bus. It's like, I fixed my car before with some duct tape
I
and
hate to
spit.
say it, but Yui,
Oh god, Yui, dies the bus.
Yui,
This is not a motorcycle, and it just goes poof.
well, I don't want to explode the whole bus.
Or like she's just under the hood, and then Wraith's like, that's not how we fix a bus. Ding dong, the fucking hood just drops on her head. We have a second decapitation on the bus.
um. Okay, so Yui fixing engine decapitation.
We're getting a lot of mileage out of this bus.
We are. If the bus does explode, a window flies off and kills someone later in a callback to Kate's death. I like that. Just the whole glass
Same
thing.
window.
All right, so Yui would be the one to try and fix the engine. I would love to see the bus roll a little bit and squish somebody.
Yes.
And then someone else tries to save them and they get squished too.
I could see somebody getting like really overzealous and possibly thinking that the threat's coming from the gas station and like try and ignite the gas pump, which everybody would take cover behind the bus.
Ignite? You mean the one who carries a lighter? Adam?
Yeah. Yeah, that guy. Or like he goes in and he just finds Bill's head and the cigarette went out and he was like, "Oh no," in memory of Bill, just lights it up and there's like a gas leak and the whole thing goes up. Somebody takes cover behind the bus and the bus just rolls over on him.
Robin wants to point out, is the bus the killer? Yes, this is how we cope with it, with Wraith's tragic backstory.
Yeah, Wraith is literally just running around ringing the bell like, "Don't do that."
Okay, so okay. Okay, so do we want gasoline fire or rolling bus crushing death or as far as like what comes after Yui? Or third option, someone actually goes and eats one of the sandwiches and literally shits their guts in the gas station to death.
We do have to have our daily.
We have to have the compulsory embarrassing bathroom death.
Yeah,
I need
that's
someone to eat one of the gas station sandwiches. And it's the last bad decision of their life.
God, what a decision to make. Let's see.
Jeff seems like the type to not question gas station food. If I'm just going off of appearances alone, him and Ace.
Yeah, I was gonna say I could see Ace doing it. I could see Jeff doing it. Yeah, it's gonna be either Ace or Jeff. I am feeling Jeff though, because dude's drunk a lot.
Okay.
They always say that food tastes better when you're drunk. Why not gas station food? Yes, Glorp, it's the sandwich.
So gas station food. Okay, so then do we want
So we have to specifically mention he doesn't just die from the gas station food. He dies in the bathroom.
Okay. So while Jeff is out there in the bathroom, quite literally shitting his brains out,
Yes.
we're back at the bus.
Yes.
Fire or bus rolls and squishes somebody.
Both. Because I think it's going to be that Adam finds Bill's head, his severed head,
Okay.
with the cigarette hanging out, and it's gone out. So he's gonna flick that lighter to give Bill his last cigarette, even though he's already dead, out of honor, and then accidentally ignites the entire gas station, killing himself in the explosion. Like, literally, like, Wraith's like, fuck, no, 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 no. He's like ringing the bell in the bathroom, like, Jeff, get out of there. don't light that fucking cigarette. And then he's like, this is going sideways quick, goes out and is like, ding dong, get the fuck out of the way. And somebody gets scared by the bell, goes to hide behind the bus, and is so distracted by the decapitated bodies of Kate and Yui that the bus rolls over in the explosion and kills them. Whew. So who dies under the bus?
Yeah. I feel like we could also take some casualties in the explosion itself other than Adam.
True. So who would leave the bus? Because I'm sure that there's going to be a group of people that just leave the bus entirely.
Oh, Yunjin's ready to stretch her legs. She's tired of just sitting in that smelly, crusty bus.
And there is no way she is going to go into that nasty ass bathroom with her nice shoes.
Let's see.
Jake's not gonna stay. Nia's not gonna stay.
We could. I I hate to say this because I love her, but Nancy is just. When I think of bus squishing, I think of Nancy.
It does kind of feel like a Nancy thing to have happen.
It does. Do you know how many times I've hit around the fun buses?
I also feel like since they've made it this far and there's not a lot going on, that David and Ash inevitably decide to go fight. So I don't
This is
feel
the
like
furthest
they're
they've
there.
made, isn't it?
What?
Hold on. Nancy, bus squish. It moved from the explosion. Okay.
Which okay, so who else would be in the area?
I
Because
mean,
we gotta take care of those people too that get
yeah,
blown away by the fire.
I think everybody will like be in and around the bus. Like I don't imagine anybody's actually like leaving and walking away down the road and hitchhiking or anything like that yet.
I would see Nia and Jake like peacing out, like just going out. Like they need to pee, but they're not peeing in that gas station. Like they'll go pop a squat somewhere else.
Nia and Jake are secretly best friends.
Yes. I think Dwight gets killed in the fire, and Meg tries to run from it, and she's the one that gets decapitated by our serial window killer.
Okay, so Dwight. Explosion and Meg.
The window strikes again.
All right.
So we have obliterated a pretty good chunk of our group already.
Only 8. This is only a third of them. By the way,
so
anyone
fast, though.
anyone you're wanting to save for the end?
See, people that aren't gonna panic and die. Cheryl. Maybe Steve. I think it's either gonna be that or just everybody dies.
I'm putting Claudette. Okay.
Well, that's true. Claudette would probably make friends. Well, maybe not like friends, but like kindred spirits almost, I guess.
Claudette is just going to lie low away from the danger. And just bad things happen around Claudette. And Claudette just stays low and just says, you know what? Wasn't me yet.
So I'm sure this is going to be a controversial decision, everybody knowing how much I love Nia, but Nia's behind the gas station tagging it. So
And
yeah, that's gonna be a another fire-based
oh, that's
death.
right. Not B. Nia. Uh,
Just comes tearing ass around the explosion, actively on fire.
oh my god, could you imagine? Titan says Steve starts doing dumb shit the second Nancy isn't there to be impulse control.
Oh
That's
god.
fair. I've been in plenty of matches where there's a Steve and not a Nancy, and it's not good.
Yeah, it does go south pretty quick. So the question is, would anybody actually attempt to put Nia out? I am thinking that Jane or Tap would try and put Nia out while she's on fire. I don't think they're gonna be successful. Like she's
I,
already just gonna be like looking up at them like,
I was actually thinking Steve, our resident,
oh,
I want to be the hero type.
yeah.
The I can be your hero, baby.
Yeah, just throws a sweater over and starts beating it with the flash or with the baseball bat, like, I'm putting her out, I'm putting her out.
But Tap does have, I would imagine, as a first responder, a better inclination of how to put
Yeah,
someone out of fire.
Steve's like trying to get over there. He just grabs him by the back of the shirt and just yanks him back. Like, let the professionals handle this.
Does anyone know that Nia's on fire? Yes, Nia's caught on fire and then she's ran back to the front. She's
Yeah,
just a burning body.
she is on fire and still urban evasioning around the map, trying to
I don't
not
think
let
she's
anybody
urban
know that she's
evasioning
done.
anymore. I think she's actually running. Just panic like ah. And Steve gets stopped by Tap. I guess Tap's gonna try to help her. Nia's a lost cause, so she's actually going to die from being on fire.
Yeah,
Uh,
it was too much spray paint too fast.
does Tap die
Okay.
helping her? Do we want to just go ahead and get Tap out of here?
I don't think he would. I think
Okay.
he's competent enough. There would have to be another accident to knock him out, I think.
Okay.
Like possibly like the like Wraith coming and like pinging that there's danger and then he takes out his gun, whips around to shoot him and
It
you
ricochets
know,
off the bus and hits him.
it ricochets off the murder window.
In Meg's body. Everybody's just like, what's this fucking glass made of?
It's made of just it's made of whatever the fuck Tuxedo Mask's cane is made of in Sailor Moon because that thing deflects everything.
Okay. So Tap goes to help Nia. Wraith does the warding bell. Tap panics, shoots, and gets caught by the ricocheting bullet.
Get shade off of the murder window.
I love this, the bus being the killer. This is the best. What about Tuxedo Mask and his cane? It's
Like,
super deflective.
yeah, like he's like every time somebody like tries to hit him with something, he's got his cane out and he just like spins the motherfucker and deflects it. And it's like, what the fuck? Like when I was in grade school, I actually did like I was on AOL Instant Messenger back in the day, and I had been part of an RP group that was doing like just Sailor Moon stuff, and I was like, I'm gonna be Tuxedo Mask, and they were like throwing everything. I'm like spins cane, and they're like, the sad thing is it would work because it always fucking worked.
Oh, Ash and David. We sent them off
Yes.
earlier to go fight each other. I assume over who was going to drive the bus next.
I figured it was just whose dick is bigger.
It could be that too. Whoever has the bigger dick gets to drive the bus now that Bill is dead.
Which I mean that could also get the kindly brontosaurus Wraith just leaning over going, actually mine is ding dong. Resulting in two distracted people punching in full force. and
Uh,
killing each other in surprise.
okay.
Misses the face entirely, just both throat punching full force.
um,
Puts a whole new meaning to ding dong.
see, I think Ash legitimately with his hand, if he had the chainsaw attachment,
Yeah.
I think he legitimately could kill David by punching him to death. Accidentally, one hit just impales him. I don't know if David could do the same to Ash, but I'll put it because it's hilarious.
Let's
Okay.
see. So that's eliminated them. So Wraith has been just like all over the place trying to get somebody to.
Lori has to stab somebody. I need Lori to grab her knitting needle like she does in the movie and just go, ah! What if somebody's actually there?
Would like Wraith to take a more bold approach to this and to approach the school bus because the school bus clearly isn't done with them yet. And try and raise the stop sign on the side of the bus to like try and give them a better sign. Here's your sign. Stop. And then that's going to make somebody else panic.
Who's afraid of ghosts?
Hmm.
Not Elodie. Not
No.
Cheryl.
Not Felix. Just had another thought. Just this bus is just getting so much mileage.
I know.
Uh the radio kicks on in the bus and starts playing Korean pop and it plays the Trickster's music and that scares Yunjin.
Is she really afraid of him?
She might be nervous at least. She almost died. She'd be like, fuck, she's here.
No, she goes to turn the radio off and gets electrocuted.
There we go.
Okay. I love this is just the most ridiculous ways to die, and it's amazing. Um sorry, we were talking about the bus stop. Do bus driver seats get airbags? I don't think they do. I think
That's a
the
question for Google.
I think the steering wheel has an airbag.
Seats have airbags. Why aren't airbags on buses, trains, and planes? In the event of a crash, you will just get tossed around into cushioned seats.
That's fair. But the bus
Are
driver
there
seat.
are there airbags in school buses? No seat belts, no airbags, just seats.
Yep. Cool. Didn't think so.
Just yeah.
What kind of bus is this? I imagined it was like a charter bus, but I guess it's a school bus.
Well, I think at the Auto Haven there is a school bus, isn't
There
there?
is. It's the fun bus.
Yeah, so
It works.
definitely the school
This is
bus.
how that bus got there. We need to figure out why the bus is split in half at some point.
God, it's gonna go down like the Titanic.
Oh, this is gonna be great. Okay, so the stop sign comes out. Who's going
Yeah.
to who's the one that's gonna get scared?
I mean, that could result in the knitting needle death. Literally, like
Oh, Lori
hearing
gets
the sound of the stop sign popping up, and then whips around and
Lori thinks that somebody was like there behind her. Somebody was, but they're not the cause of the sound. She screams and she stabbed somebody. I think it's got to be someone so unsuspecting like Quentin or
Quentin
Jake.
didn't even know he was there. Surely that was the ghost. She got him.
No, no, no. She realizes it's Quentin. He's got a knitting needle shoved right through his eye. Okay, he's dead. She's now panicking that she just killed him. And
I feel like this is Ace's time to shine, to hide the body. Ace gives me a I can hide the body kind of vibe.
I feel that. I don't know if there's a point of hiding the body because there's just so many just around at this point.
Yeah, but he's got to calm the nice Lori down. She recently turned 18.
I was
Ace has got
imagining
to impress her.
she's so panicked that she ends up doing something and dies.
Oh, we could also have since the gas the tanks at the gas station have already gone up. We could have that it's heating because they have underground gas lines.
Mm-hmm.
So that could finally catch, which could then bump the bus straight up, and then we can actually have that Titanic moment where it hit it like part of the center and it just falls over in a half bit.
It goes up in the air, lands on its nose, breaks in half, and
Yes. Poor Yui gets just double tapped as if
oh,
not having a head was enough.
oh, I like that. But back to Lori panic and dying.
Okay. I feel like Ace is gonna try and hide the body. Like, don't worry. We're gonna call the police, but they don't have to know about this.
Ace goes up to calm her. She stabs him too with the other knitting.
Stranger danger! Because literally, I can see Wraith, like, the moment he starts walking up to her and, like, reaching out to, like, pat her on the shoulder, Wraith is just banging the bell, like, danger, danger, danger!
Lori screams
Creepy
again.
old man! Creepy old man!
All right. Both knitting needles are out.
Okay, we have eliminated all knitting needles.
But we still have more windows.
I mean, that could happen when the bus comes back down to the ground. Like, nobody dies in the explosion of underneath the bus. And there's like a brief moment of phew, and then the bus comes down and then the rest of the murder windows start raining out. Like, the bus is actually pretty far from the gas station, isn't it?
I would imagine they park at like the edge of the parking lot.
So I was expecting it, like, they pulled it up closer to it. Like, I was expecting it right next to where they were, like, the gas station. And then when the gas line actually explodes, it, like, goes up and goes off into the distance, and everybody's like, phew, except for Jake, who was out exploring because he's a loner, and the bus just drops on him.
Ooh.
Bus falls on head.
All right. So we're at the point where we have Claudette, Fang, Jane, Steve,
Steve.
Zarina, Cheryl, Felix, Elodie.
Yes.
Okay.
We're doing pretty good because I feel like these are most of our common sense people, other than Steve, he might be a little bit caught like less impulsive because he's in mourning, and he just got told like he just got yanked back by the collar and is feeling a little foolish.
Titan's glad that not even Jake and Nia are safe from this foolishness.
If there's gonna be a fire, Nia's gonna go down, or she's going to weaponize it. In this case, she did not get to weaponize it.
Well, she did against herself.
Yeah.
All right, so the bus has come back down. It has been split in half. We now have the ever popular fun bus.
Yes.
Um,
I think we need another murder window death.
okay. Who do we want to take out? It can literally be anybody. I think Fen's probably too short. It'll just go right over her head. And then it'll go over her head and hit
Felix, our tall boy.
Felix
I'm
dies.
I'm like, he's the tallest one of all of them.
All right.
Down goes the Felix. Too tall for this. Oh my god.
Okay. Who's next?
Hold on a second. Is Steve the only male left in the party
Yeah, I
now?
guess he is.
He's our final boy.
Silent, thank you so much for the sub. I really appreciate that.
Oh. Okay, so we have our final boy. Wraith is
I
probably like
I actually love Steve
absolutely.
making it this far. And I want Steve to keep going because I think it's kind of hilarious that he's probably he's not stupid, but he's dumb. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I just love the idea of him making it.
My mom always said that like there's uh there's like smarts and then there's street smarts. Cause she always said that one of my sisters was smart and the other one had street smarts. And then I had both of them.
Oh,
Like,
Silent, I'm so sorry. Felix just died. So glad the death is caused by stupidity or just collateral damage. Yeah, this is the best way that we can cope with the most tragic backstory of any killer in the game.
Wraith is doing his best, man. He's been ringing the bell, trying to warn everybody, and they're not doing well. But I think at this point, Elodie's probably noticed the bell ringing. So
Elodie would be the one to pick up on that.
we may have a paranormal investigation underway now.
Okay.
Except Elodie probably thinks that it's a bad spirit because everybody's dying.
LED goes to do some sort of an exorcism, and I
Oh
don't know how it
no.
backfires. I don't know how it backfires, but she's gonna die.
How does one perform an exorcism? Let me Google this. How to perform an exorcism
She
on a
actually
dog in bit what? Okay, just a regular exorcism, not on a dog, not on a baby. Okay, sacramental blessings from the Latin Church bishops of the US. All right, here we go. Um,
either you're an idiot or just standing too close to an idiot. That is pretty much how this is working out. R.I.P. Quentin and Ace.
okay, there's a major exorcism. What is a major exorcism?
I think
Show
that's
me the how to, damn it.
I think I think those are the ones where you have to like exercise it from a body.
Hmm. Are there random bodies in that auto haven? I imagine there's gotta be.
Oh, I'm sure there's bodies in the wreckage.
So it's looking like there's going to be a laying on of hands, which to me signals that she's going to find a body. Like they're gonna scour this fucking yard and find the one body with like a doorbell next to it, like or a car horn, like that she's like clearly this is the one because we keep hearing bells and tries to do the laying on of hands on the skull but pushes too hard and is like killed by tires or a car falls over.
I like the car falling over her. And yes, Zarina is still alive for now.
So dies by attempted exorcism on something that was not in need of an exorcism. Which it probably just confirmed it. Like Wraith's probably like sitting there just banging the bell, like, no, 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 no. She's like, this is clearly the one. This is it. Be gone, demon.
Titan says a major exorcism is an exorcism with rank in the army, which checks out. I'm just gonna call the fact check right now on that one. Okay, so now we have Cheryl, Zarina, Steve,
Mhm,
Jane.
mhm. And Fang.
And Feng.
Because she was short enough not to get
Oh, and
the
Lori.
murder
Lori's actually
lingo.
still alive.
Oh yeah, she is. She just killed some people, but she's still alive. She's the killee, but not the or the
She.
killer, but not the killee.
Yes.
Sorry. Um, perfect. Okay.
Lori's done her time. All right.
Uh, but no money was exchanged. It was an accident. Wraith saw it. Wraith is fine. We could also scare the shit out of her by Wraith trying to like communicate with her and writing the phrase "I forgive" in the dirt.
Or does Wraith take her acts of murder as out
Ooh.
of context?
I
It,
tried to save them and you killed them.
yeah.
What would she get in return? Because he's the very specific part
He
of
spanks her to death. Have you seen his Mori?
doesn't he get like specifically upset if you take money to kill them?
I
Like, what if she
guess.
takes his wallet so that she can at least like give the identification? Because nobody knew who
I
this
don't.
creepy
I
ace
feel
guy
like I feel like we
was.
don't have to get that nitpicky about it.
Okay, well, she gets spanked. Just comes out of left field. Lori gets spanked to death.
Let me just move these down real quick. She got spanked to death back up here when Ace and Quentin died.
Yeah. Spanked to death.
Should I next level up Dwight, Jake, Ace, Nia, Jeff, Kate, or Steve? Not Steve or Ace. Like, get to them eventually, but the others have better teachables. More useful teachables, actually.
Okay, so we have Cheryl, Serena, Steve, Jane, and Claudette,
And Feng.
and Fang. So, I feel like Cheryl's probably getting the idea that shit's going down, but is probably going to take a calmer approach.
She's gonna
Um,
better examine the scenario than others.
yeah, I get the feeling like Cheryl and exorcisms probably don't get along.
No, not at all. So I don't think she'd hang around Elodie.
No, I think that's she'd be like, no, this is very culty to me, and just be like, I'm gonna
She'd be like,
leave.
I've dealt with demigods and I've had my fair share of the supernatural. I'm going to pass.
Maybe she just straight up leaves. Nothing's stopping her.
Unless something does.
God, what would happen to Cheryl?
I mean, she goes to leave, she gets to the road and just gets ran over. A car just comes like flying into the gas station.
Oh my God.
It's the fire truck there to put out the fire from the explosion.
Or Steve tries to drive and find help because he does not strike me as a responsible driver.
So then Cheryl wouldn't go with him. But he runs over Cheryl? Is that what you're
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah, he
Oh
tries to go out and get help and peels out and runs her.
my god.
At least Quentin didn't die in the bathroom. Quentin just died by knitting needle. It's fine. It's a more dignified death.
Robin wants the window to get Cheryl or somebody else. Cheryl just starts walking. Her boots are made for it. Love that.
Well, in this case, it's going to be an instance of, well, Steve just mowed down Cheryl, so now it's time for Wraith to mow down Steve. And
Yep.
Wraith is a very fast boy. So this might be an instance of
Another
Wraith
another
literally.
spanking.
I think he's going to catch up to the car and just put the skull straight through the window and
Ooh.
knock his head straight off, which could then knock that window out. So we got like a domino effect. And that window can then shoot out and nail somebody else. We can have the third, is it the third or fourth window attack of the movie?
I think it's the
This is gonna
third.
become this is gonna become like what was that movie where it's just watching things in
Rubber?
the house?
No.
No, no, not Rubber. But God, that was a good movie. God, why can't I remember the
The
name
movie
of
where
it?
all like the appliances and shit come to life.
No, like a house is haunted, so they have cameras placed
Oh,
everywhere.
paranormal.
Yeah, except it's like the one where everybody's sitting there watching the pool cleaner and they're like, something's gonna happen with that pool cleaner. Except now everybody is really suspicious of windows.
I like the Final Destination reference earlier. At the end, we find out that the window was actually the entity. Oh gosh. Okay, so our targets are Zarina, Jane, and Fen, right?
Or Claudette.
Or
Claudette is still
Claudette.
in the game.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, or Claudette. I like the idea of this window also going over Feng's head.
Yes.
I just think the idea of her just being so small that the windows just fly over her and hit whoever's directly behind her every time. Um, which
I feel like it would be Jane.
I was thinking Jane and Zarina are probably the tallest of who's left.
The only reason I'm thinking Jane is because she's probably like Fang is probably ever so slightly horrified that Felix died directly behind her. And she's like freaking out a little bit. And Jane's like, there, it's okay. It's all right. Killed by window.
Oh no.
And then Fang is getting really suspicious of windows because everybody's dying to windows nearby her.
Okay, so
Which would be funny if she tries to go somewhere with no windows and still gets killed by a window.
which could be her death. Then goes to smash all the windows.
Dies by window.
And somehow the shards just fly back and she gets a million little lacerations.
Or
Or,
you know how the school buses have like two, like there's the top part of the window and the bottom part of the window?
uh-huh.
What if she tries to break it and she hits the bottom part so the top part just comes flying forward and just hits her?
Okay.
Bring the bus back.
Uh, breaking windows, break back. Okay. Which leaves us with Zarina and Claudette.
I feel that Claudette just leaves.
Can she leave safely? Because Cheryl tried that already. I feel like Claudette would literally go hide in a corner of the gas station and just wait for
For
safety.
help.
Yeah. Just go crouch in the corner and just like everybody around her's dying and then she's just there waiting for somebody
If
to
I don't move, everything will be fine.
That's what she's learned. Everybody who's like doing anything is dying or killing others. And so she's like, if I just stay to myself in this corner, nothing can hurt me. I can't hurt anybody else. And I will just wait until everyone else dies. And the chaos
And
has blown over.
Zarina might try and get help and like, doing the whole jumping up and down, like, help me! Oh God, help me! And then like gets knocked off by
Another
a hit
flying
and
window.
run. Yeah.
The gas station sign finally falls over. And Zarina is the final blow.
Yeah, she's off by the bus finally like makes one last wheezing cough of an explosion that causes just enough rumble for the sign to fall down. And now Claudette is the only one alive. And at this point, Wraith is just trying to save her. So he just like hovers over her, like, I will take care of
Body
you.
blocks her into the corner so she can't go anywhere.
Yes! She doesn't know what's body blocking her. She just hears this breathing.
God, just the. And then fade to black.
Yes. And Claudette and Wraith live happily ever after.
Oh, I love it.
Because I want Wraith to have a happily ever after.
Apparently, him and the nurse have a thing.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't read details on that, but the devs have like mentioned it. Mid-credit
Oh, I
scene
want
of
to
just
read
a
this
slow zoom on the
now.
window that also cuts to black.
What?
Robin said mid-credit scene, so the credits are rolling. Just a slow zoom on the window that also cuts to black.
It's the after credits hinting that there's going to be a sequel, and it's just like a slow pan in on the bus. Like the Marvel movies, the bus will be back. 2022.
I love this. All right.
Of
Do we want to do a speedy recap? Or
course. Okay, so everybody pulls into this gas station on the bus. Bill is the bus driver. The bus is breaking down, so he goes inside and starts hitting the bell, like ding 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 ding. And Wraith sees him with his Vietnam shit on and goes, "Well, he's got to go." So he goes ahead and decapitates and puts his head on a shelf. And he's still got the cigarette, but it's gone out. Meanwhile, Kate like is pushing the window open and going, "Hey y'all, what's going on?" And it comes down and takes her head off. Yui's like, "Fuck this shit. I'm gonna fix this engine myself." And Wraith is behind her like, "Dude, don't do that." Rings the bell, scares her, and the hood falls down, decapitates her. Meanwhile, Jeff, completely ignoring the fact that there's a dead Bill and a head on the floor, takes the sandwich in the gas station and decides to go and eat it. But it gives him the holy shit. So he goes into this shady gas station bathroom, and Adam comes in and goes, "Oh my god, Bill," and sees that his cigarette's out and tries to do him one last solid before he dies and lights up the cigarette, which causes an explosion from a gas leak, killing Jeff inside of the bathroom. So he is our death on the bathroom, our weekly porta potty death. It also kills Adam. Now the explosion was so powerful that it tipped the bus and squishes Nancy. Dwight was standing too close to the explosion and dies in the inferno. Um, Meanwhile, when the bus falls over, Kate's window strikes again as Meg tries to run away, decapitating Meg. Nia had been tagging the back of the gas station, and her spray paint catches fire, and she comes screaming around the front, and Steve tries to go help her, but Tap grabs him by the collar, goes, "No, no, let a professional do this." So he goes over and tries to put her out. And Wraith is like, "Ding dong, this is dangerous." And Tap turns around to go and shoot him, but Wraith isn't right there. So the bullet ricochets off of the murder window and kills Tap. Meanwhile, Ash and David were having a fight over who had the biggest peen. So Wraith goes out there to try and break it up because clearly Wraith has the biggest ding dong out there. But that surprises them. So they both accidentally punch each other in the throat and die, leaving the biggest ding dong to live and go back to try and stop the onslaught. Yunjin hears the sound of Korean pop on the radio, which they thought everything was like busted in that bus, but apparently not. So she goes to turn it off and gets electrocuted. Meanwhile, Wraith is trying to send a little bit more of a clear message by lifting the stop sign on the bus to make them stop killing each other. Lori panics and thinks Quentin's a ghost, so she stabs him with the knitting needle. And nobody had noticed he was there anyway, so that's fine. But Ace is like, "Oh my god, you poor baby." And Wraith is like, "Oh no, this is stranger danger. This guy's creepy as fuck." So Lori goes ahead and stabs him too. But Wraith is really upset that she just stabbed 2 people with a knitting needle after he just told them to stop. Like, he's been ringing the damn bell, he put the sign up, and she stabbed them anyway. So he spanks Lori to death. Meanwhile, the gas pipes have been heating up to the point where they explode, causing the bus to launch into the air. And it falls on the head of Jake, who had previously decided to take off. Now, when the bus hits, it splits in two, but it also causes another window to go flying off of the bus. It sails directly over Fang's head, but hits Felix, who is too tall for this ride. Elodie is like, okay, listen, there is some shit going on here, and it is paranormal as fuck. So she goes ahead and is like, okay, I'm gonna try and find whatever the fuck is possessing this place. Finds a corpse that's laying next to like an old doorbell or some shit, and is like, this is clearly it, because all we're hearing is this fucking bell. And she starts trying to exercise it, and Wraith is like, oh shit, this car's gonna fall. And starts banging the bell like, please fucking get away. And she's like, this is clearly the one. So she does the most forceful exorcism possible, knocking over a car that was next to the body, squishing her. Cheryl was like, fuck this shit. I have seen too much cult bullshit for this to carry on. While at the same time, Steve has successfully found a running car and is like, fuck, I'm gonna go get help. My girlfriend just died. Like, we need an adult, and we do not have one here. So he starts driving off, and Cheryl is just like trying to get out and gets just completely run over by Steve. And Wraith is like, what is this bullshit? And Wraith is a fast boy, so catches right up to Steve and puts the bone clapper straight through the window. Breaks the window, breaks Steve's head straight off his spine, which sends it into the next window. Which, of course, sends that window back into the fray and hits Jane, who is trying to comfort Fang, who had just had a very terrible incident where, a window had decapitated the person next to her, so she just had to have it happen again. So Jane behind her takes a window to the throat and dies. Fang is now like, fuck these windows, and goes and starts breaking them. But when she gets to one of the bus windows, she hits the bottom part of it, and the window breaks back. The top part of the window comes down, just kills Fang. Meanwhile, Zarina's like, we fucking need help. And starts like jumping around, and the bus gives like its last little cough of life, just enough for the vibration to cause the gas sign to fall on top of Zarina. Meanwhile, Claudette has been sitting in a corner watching everybody who moves die. And Wraith is like, not this one, not my precious Claudette. And body blocks her in the corner, so all she can hear is that. And so Claudette lives, and Wraith is successful in saving at least one innocent life.
Hey, small trivia fact, I've been counting this whole time. Do you know how many window-based deaths we've had?
How many?
6. 6 window-based deaths out of 25 characters. That is a fourth?
Yeah.
Roll of 3 times 2. Exactly. We should have done 9 characters. Roll of 3 times 3.
How many of those were bus windows? So it was Kate died by bus window, Meg died by bus window.
Bus windows were 5. Jane's the only one who died of a car window.
Damn. Okay. So yeah, Claudette made it.
I love this.
And congratulations to us for finally agreeing on the first dead.
I know.
We did it.
It's about time.